Hi, will you join me back at the truck in Marrakech, Morocco? My bike trip cut short after my 2023 KTM 819 adventure let me down, not once, but twice. High in the Anti-Atlas Mountains, stranded with no mobile signal, where I was eventually recovered off the mountain by a local man in his van. The experience up until then was incredible. The landscape and terrain an adventure rider's dream. I love the 819 adventure, but by the end of this video you'll understand why I'll never buy another KTM. Right, well the battery is disconnected. I've had a shower, I've had a bite to eat, and the rain is, starting to come on. So in a way, I'm actually really pleased that I'm not out in the mountain tonight, of all nights. I'll take that as one small win. Well guys, good morning. Well, it is 7:30 in the morning. I'm up nice and early because clearly I've got a lot to sort out today. This is my little hotel for the night, and it has been brilliant in fairness. Really sort of clean, and shattered yesterday, so I slept really well. Apart from the thunderstorm, almighty thunderstorm that we had during the night. I couldn't believe it. The timing of it is unbelievable. You know, I would have been fine on the mountain. You know, I've got my little tent, sleeping bag, roll mat. It might have been a pretty rough night. I mightn't have got much sleep, but you know, yeah, I would have been okay. I would have survived. But yeah, look, I'll just spin the camera around. You can see this Renault 4 on a pedestal here. But yeah, lots to sort of share, and a little bit of sort of about how I got rescued, which I didn't even realise until I got back here, because there's no signal up there. Danny, the event organiser, sent me a voicemail, and I'll sort of share all that over a cup of tea. Right now, breakfast. Right, I've just connected the battery, so I'm just about to see if it's going to start. I met Jared at breakfast. An Austrian guy who hadn't been feeling well for a couple of days was stopping at the hotel to recover. He offered to help by switching the batteries on our bikes, as his was a larger ion lithium unit. The OEM battery is known to be inadequate, particularly when it comes to the immobiliser, so it has to be the starting point. But as I'd find out, all is not what it seems. Oh my god, I can't believe it's actually started. So we're just going to leave it for a minute. So we still have Jared's battery in here, but that's really positive. If I get this thing started again, we just turned it off to try it. I mean, the thing is, there's batteries in there, so I've got to swap it out again. So, but maybe it's sort of broken that cycle. It's a good start. Nope. It ain't working. Right, bloody won't start again. Thinking we had it sorted, the bike showed the same fault. Right, first things first. Bike gear off. We swapped batteries several times, with my battery turning over Jared's bike, and given that it's already started mine, there's little reason why it shouldn't work again. For 2.5 hours we messed about, trying to figure it out, until eventually without hesitation, I got packed up, thanked Jared, and got on my way. The shortest route back to the truck just north of Marrakech is 465 kilometres. This will take me through Ouarzazate and back over the High Atlas Mountains via the Tizi Antica Pass. The weather is good for now and the roads are empty, so I make good progress, but there's a long way to go yet. Okay, it's a bit windy. Hopefully you can hear me. So, problem is I'm almost out of fuel. I've got about, it says 70 miles left. I've got 90 miles before I can get to Ouarzazate. So I obviously don't have enough fuel to get to Marrakech, so I've got to stop. So I'm going to stop in Ouarzazate. Really briefly, as I'm turning the ignition off, get some fuel and try and start up again. I'm working on the theory that if it's only momentary, there's a good chance it's going to start again. There is a KTM rental place. It's not a dealership, it's just a rental place in Ouarzazate, and it's a big city, so you know I'm somewhat closer. So if I'm going to have a problem, I'm better having it there, and maybe I can get direct transport to Marrakech from there as well if it comes to it. So right now, there's the bike. I'll have a sip of water and prepare my way. Okay, well I got here by the skin of my teeth. The question is this thing going to start again? If it does, I'm going to get to Marrakech tonight. Yeah, problem. Shit, okay. I pushed the bike off the fuel station forecourt over to a Scania garage and start all over again. Right, not ideal, but I am 3 hours closer than I was this morning. And I got here by the skin of my teeth, so I'm not complaining. What I have got is a very stale sandwich, a bit of laughing cow cheese. A bottle of water. Okay, so I've just been in this garage here just behind me, and I've got myself a set of jump leads, 20 quid, so I haven't been ripped off. So where there's a will, there is a way. I am going to get that bloody bike started one way or another. But first, I am definitely feeling dehydrated, so I need some more fluids and something sweet to eat. So just do that and get back to the bike. Time is very much against me, but from the workshop, 2 mechanics kindly tried to assist with the voltmeter, and to be honest, any help at this stage was appreciated. I still had the lack of voltage as an issue, but this would prove to be a red herring. Well, I'd all but given up hope, so the guys here brought the little van over. Basically hooked it up, had the battery sort of sitting up there at 14.2, nothing, just would not start. So I turned the bars a couple of times and the immobiliser light didn't come on. The side stand light came on. I thought, bingo, that's it. So clearly there's a little connection cable, there's something there as well as the battery. So yeah, anyway, did say I'd be in Marrakech tonight, so let's get this lot packed up and get back on the road. The relief at this point was huge. With a full fuel tank, I knew I could make it back to the truck tonight. Hopefully, this will be my last pack up. Okay, let's go. It's getting late in the day and I've got a good 3.5 hours riding time ahead of me, and it'll definitely be dark by the time I get back to Marrakech, but that's okay. I ascend the high atlas direction the Tizi and Tikka, and these days the road is well surfaced, so I make a good time. Despite feeling robbed of another week exploring the south, I can still appreciate the pretty epic scenery that surrounds me. I stop at the summit to put some warm clothes on as the weather starts to deteriorate. By the time I get back to Marrakech, it's properly wet, but another 30 minutes would see me back at the truck, so no lapse in concentration. Finally, up ahead, the campsite. Well, I am back at the truck, and I must say it feels amazing. It feels a bit of an achievement actually. My head is buzzing. Yeah, I don't know what they say. A bit frazzled, to be honest with you. But it feels good to be back at the truck. So I think right now I'm going to dump the bike in here, get out of this gear, have a shower, and just come down and pick it up again tomorrow morning. Well guys, good morning. Well, I have just surfaced. I'm absolutely shattered still, to be honest with you, although I did sleep well. Well, the bike is no further forward. I just tried it again this morning out of curiosity. Won't start. Still the immobiliser problem. So I'm not even going to think about it right now. I just need to clear my head, have a day to come down, and yeah, just get all my gear sorted out really, and a little bit of shopping and go from there. But right now, bit of breakfast. Right, you know what I'm like, couldn't help myself. So I've taken a seat off the bike because I wanted to test one thing. I've actually got my little Durite starter pack here, okay, and this thing is amazing, it really is. It'll start this truck, it'll start up to a 16-litre engine. It's so impressive, with ease. And I thought, right, let's just get it on the bike and see, let's just have a look. So when I stopped yesterday and I got the ignition fail light on, or the immobiliser aerial light come on, faffed about for ages, tried to jump start it, wouldn't happen. And then of course I pulled the bars, the left hand bar to the left, and suddenly it came on. And I've just done the same thing right now. So I'm just going to spin the camera around and see if the same thing happens. So here it goes. I'm going to turn the ignition on, ready to repair. Right, there we go. Immobiliser antenna. I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to pull the bar down to the left. I'm going to turn it on. Side stand. So the bike will now start. Turn it off. Bring the bars round. Turn it on. Same fault. The problem, the bike won't start. Look, it just won't start. As long as that light's there, it won't start. Turn it off. Pull the bars round to the left. Ignition on. Side stand. Right, the bike will start now. So that, I mean, that it hasn't always happened. So I know somebody will say, oh, it's just a little kinked wire, but there's more than that. Sometimes the headlight will stay on, sometimes, so when you turn the ignition off, okay, light is still on, key is out of ignition, there's the dash, key is out, light has now gone out. Okay, so headlight is now out, but I'll turn that out. Headlight's off. The cruise control has stopped working for a couple of days. What was the other thing? There's something else as well, and it's got to be all tied up with this. So yeah, we shall see. So I don't think so. Just proof really that there's enough power in the battery to turn over the engine, but as long as that immobiliser light is on, it isn't going to start. So Okay, so actually no need for the little durite. It's nothing to do with the durite, and sorry, the jump starter, and trying to sort of get that voltage up to a higher capacity. So I mean, it really is, it's sort of a real sort of head scratch, this, because it's electrics and electronics. There's no, you know, I'm not up to speed on KTM's systems, and in my opinion, I know some people online, they've had to strip out the whole wiring loom and replace the whole lot to actually find the problem. In fact, they haven't found the problem because they've literally stripped out. There's a guy actually online, this is a good one, put the bike in with the same problem. They said, yeah, it's fixed. He turned up, tried to start the bike to ride off, had the same problem. The dealership went, oh, right. They ended up actually stripping out the whole wiring loom, replacing it at a cost of £2,000, and that was the workaround. So yeah, we will see. There is the aftermath. Yeah, there is my baguette. I've not even had breakfast yet. Yeah, so lots of sorting out to do, lots of washing to do, and yeah, that's it. Well, I've been back 2 days, and I just want to say a huge thank you for all the support and offers of help. I was pretty oblivious to what was happening, really, in terms of, well, Izzy put a social media post out, and on the back of that there was people messaging and emailing direct messages saying, look, you know, we're not a million miles away, I'll come in a van, I'll help. And you know, this is fellow travelers, and it was just so reassuring. Actually, good friends from the UK saying, look, I'll fly out, we'll sort you out. And it was just really heartwarming. So thank you so much for all that support. It means a lot. And here lies the problem. Throughout the whole ordeal, KTM didn't want to know. Now, there's one KTM dealership in Morocco, in Casablanca, but because it's outside of mainland Europe, their mobility service isn't available. What I'd like to do, and bear with me, is go back to the morning of the ordeal and share my research and thoughts. So I did a lot of research last night. I was on lots of forums, reading lots of threads, lots of good information, in fairness. And one of the things that was suggested was, apart from disconnecting the battery, was if you disconnect the battery and it doesn't work, physically remove the battery and touch the positive and negative cables on the bike. And apparently that does a soft reset. So that's an option. The problem apparently is that if you think about, in terms of the immobiliser, if you think about the ignition barrel, so where you put the key in, around the barrel itself at the top, that is where the immobiliser ring is. And that is paired to the key. So when you put the key in the ignition, that picks up, okay, yeah, this is the right key for the bike. It unlocks the immobiliser and allows you to start the bike. But obviously there's a problem with that. And yeah, there was a lot of information out there, a lot of very pissed off people across various continents saying, yeah, you know, Australia, America, people saying, yeah, this is a problem. So it doesn't help you when you're out here, but at least, you know, it is a sort of recognised problem. Now, the other thing that the people suggested that it needs is a software update, and it sounds ridiculous. You know, here we are, it's an adventure motorcycle, and it needs a software update. I mean, come on, you know, this is ridiculous that it's going to stop you in your tracks. So apparently there's some software called XC2. You know, you go to KTM, plug it in, do the software update, all's good. The other thing that people suggest as well is to upgrade the battery. People saying that the standard battery isn't good enough. So you've got to put in basically a high on lithium battery, and that gives it a bit more oomph, because when it drops on the voltage, and you can see the voltage actually on the dash, the bike won't start, and it's apparently it's all connected. You know, it's really this is the problem with this stuff. It is, you know, really difficult to try and decipher all the information that's out there, because, you know, there could be different faults in different bikes, but it is definitely a thing with these KTMs, and it's such a shame because I absolutely love the bike. I've looked at every midweight adventure bike on the market. I've sat on them. You know, I love the Ténéré. That's definitely a good plan B. But I really love the KTM. I love the centre of gravity is low. I like the seat height. I just like how it rides, how it feels, and it's a real. It would be an absolute, you know, it'd be so frustrating at this stage to have gone down this route and sell the bike because of a technical problem. It does put into question the whole KTM ownership thing. I must admit, I think yesterday I was ready for chopping it in and just get rid, you know. In the heat of the moment, I was like, right, this is definitely going. This morning, maybe a bit more rational this morning, and I'm thinking, come on, you know. People have got them sorted and say, look, once it's sorted, they're good as gold. But, you know, is that state of doubt ever going to leave? We'll see. In fact, let's go out and see if this thing is going to spark up. Well, of course it didn't spark up, and the rest is history. And KTM's response throughout this failing has been pretty much non-existent, with the dealership in the UK actually stating that even if we're to get the bike back into mainland Europe, that it's up to the dealership whether or not they actually undertake any warranty work. KTM almost seem to be in denial when it comes to liability. Rather than do the right thing, many owners are being told that it's actually not covered under warranty. Now, I've owned about 30 bikes in my lifetime: two-strokes, big thumpers, Africa Twins, road and race bikes, touring bikes, 7 of which were BMWs and 3 of those were GS 1200s. Now, this is my first KTM and I absolutely love the 890 Adventure. You're probably surprised to hear me say that, but it is a fabulous bike from a rider's perspective. It's got a very low centre of gravity, it's got lots of power, it's got a low seat height. I even like all the gadgetry on it. But I don't love the brand, and I can honestly say that I will never buy another KTM. Particularly as an adventure bike, when you're in that remote spot, you have to have the confidence that, you know, ultimately when you push that button, that bike has to start. Now maybe I need to follow Norley's lead and revert to an old Ténéré 600. Hopefully this video will help some soul who is stranded, or indeed maybe help someone make an informed decision. Now I will make a follow-up video once I know exactly what's happening and hopefully when the bike is eventually fixed. But for now, that's it for this week. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up and we'll see you next time round. Bye for now.
Close your eyes, hear the voice within calling. This heavy load got under your skin. All in, you got the white knuckle.